Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm Alex Antuna and today I'm going to continue during my lunch on this Kaiju creature, monster, whatever you want to call it. Looking at it, we can look at this profile. Let's open this up. Not a bad little tool to have. You can see the profile. I'm not really I don't know, something needs to be adjusted, doesn't it? I'm going to scale this down just slightly. And for anybody who doesn't know, you can do this. You can drag and scale this up and down. So this kind of helps. Let's go into turn off perspective. We're going to scale up our brush. I'm going to grab the move tool. And I want to move this. We're going to move this up. Maybe right there. A little more like a dog, I guess. Now you can see his silhouette. Let's kind of push this, just give him a little more form, his spine, a little more back right there. This is a good tool to have right here. You can see the silhouette. I don't want his knees to be too close. So I was watching last night, late at night, I was going through the YouTube videos and stuff, seeing what I could find, and somebody did like Godzilla and Unreal Engine, and now kind of got like a direction that I want to go. I want to put this guy in Unreal if I can, but we'll see how that goes. I want to rig him and then probably use some of the tools in there to see how that goes. Let's make it that wider just slightly. I don't want it to be like a rat tail either. Just a little bit. So kind of smooth this out, and what I really want to do is figure out the toe situation. You're like, he can only tap his keyboard one key at a time. So let's figure this out. Let's look at these references. So looking at it, a lot of them, I was kind of noticing today, 3 fingers and a thumb. 3 fingers and a thumb. Yeah. 3 fingers and a thumb. Uh-oh. I don't think he qualifies. 1 hook. I guess that you know, you gotta have one of those. 3 fingers. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And a thumb. So let's go with that. What I want to do, let's go ahead and make a hand. Let's make a hand out of this. Figure something out. Or I could do 1 finger and then copy that over, and we're halfway there. So we got our tools. If you're ever thinking about how you want to do something like this, you can use this and start sculpting on that. Already halfway there. What do you say? Let's look at it. Let's go ahead and do this. The other method that I was going to point out, I've not done a video on this before. You can do this. You can go into your Z tool and make whatever works for you, or whatever you're happy with, for whoever needs some idea on this area. You can do this, and we can use that and model from there. Press A. Now we got like a finger to go from. Let's see what we're working with. It's almost like a claw. So we could go this route, or I can go back to this model, select it, and chop this finger off, and then work from there. Which way should we go? We'll go this way. Let's go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and block out some of this. You got like what? 1 knuckle, the other knuckle, and then that knuckle. See, we're halfway there. So what I'm going to do is chop this off and go from there and see if we got something to work with. I'm going to duplicate this. Let's duplicate. Now we got a copy. Let's solo this out. Turn off perspective, and what we can do is mask about to here. We're going to make a poly group. Control W and hold Control Shift, click, boom. Everything is gone. if I remove everything below, we can go up and just drop it down. Delete lower. We can go to delete hidden. I don't know where this is at over here. If you're going by default, I think it is topology. Delete hidden's right there. So if you're looking for it, it's under geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Now you can see why I put a button down here, because I didn't want to go looking for it. So the button's down here. Delete hidden. What we're going to do is go to Dynamesh. There you go. I'm going to Dynamesh that. Push this over. So Dynamesh closes the end. I probably don't need all this. And what we can do is just do this. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. You want the shadow part facing out. And let's grab this curve. Pretty nice day today. It's a Friday. Real good. Fast week. We're going to turn off symmetry. Well, you know what we could do? No, we don't want to do that. Let's just leave it as is. Let's do this. Turn off symmetry. We're just going to work with the one side, because zooming in, it's going to, you know, it's going to pull us to both of them, and we don't want that. It's just delete it. Really don't have to worry about it. It's Dynamesh. We can. This is a part where we can actually inflate it. We can use Sculptures Pro, so we don't need to worry about too much. We're just gonna get this started. There's gonna be a claw right there. Depending on if we want that geometry to be separate or the same piece. Decisions, we can think about it right now. Let's just kind of get this knuckle going in and kind of shave this up. Let's go ahead and turn off this. Yeah, look at that. Now we got a finger started. We can do this, and let's think about this. Clip curve right there. Yeah. Leave it right there. You can see that it got a little weird. Let's turn off Sculpt Pro. Doesn't like it. We just kind of work it backwards. Sometimes you're gonna get something happen like this. We'll just keep smoothing it down. If I remesh it, it might flip inside out. So we're just gonna smooth it out as much as we can. There we go. I can go shift up. Now we got like a claw. How big do we want this claw? Let's look at some references. That's kind of where they're walking. So if I were to zoom in and go here, we're gonna reset this. We want to see where it can curl like that. So his knuckle wants to be big, so it kind of, let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. And since I do probably want to add bones to this, I might want to straighten it out. He's going to look funny for now, but knowing that we'll probably want to move him, might be something we want to do. How big is this look? So his back part of his body is smaller. So let's do this. Let's go here. I don't use this too often, but let's see if this works. Let's see. Lasso this part, so we don't affect everything. We're gonna drop it down and gonna smooth it. Hold Control, hit the mesh. You can see it blending out. Blending right here. Blending. And then we're going to drop this focal shift right there. See if we can scale just a little bit. Too much. Let's go here. Maybe it's his leg. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's all of it. Let's try to pull just a little bit in. Let's go a little bit less right here. Kind of push them back down. Let's turn off. I think it's fine. Oh, don't want that to be influenced too much. Pull this out. We can always remesh it. Let's see. Because his back legs are going to also factor in this. I'm just trying to make it practical. Oh, I didn't grab his tail. Let's see. Did that work? Let's jump up to about right here maybe. Before, after. Slightly, a little bit. Pull this up, pull this back. And that got a little bit deformed. It's not even straight anymore. There we go. And we're gonna need to fix his bone structure to match. There we go. I'm gonna have to go back and doctor that piece up. I don't know if we're gonna do it today, but let's focus on those fingers. I just want it a little bit smaller, and since I'm thinking we're going to rig this character, do we really want it to bend? Probably not. We're gonna see. Been getting more into rigs and stuff like that, so I'm trying to get a better understanding of this stuff. Best methods of workflow, I guess, is where I'm going. So there. Can't talk today, huh? Straighten it out. Looking like a finger or a claw. I'm gonna go ahead and add some geometry here. And since we're gonna duplicate this each finger, that's why I wanted to do one. Do one and get it in there. Just the main knuckle. And what we can do is go to Zremesh and just knock it down to kind of get some better topology flow. And if you really want to, I guess if we're gonna get picky with it, you could actually make some topology lines in here. Here's just a quick example. See if it works. Try to guide it a little bit better. I think that part worked. That part didn't, and this part doesn't look like it's flowing. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to remesh it anyway, but I'm just going to show this anyway, see if this helps anybody. And connect. I'm going to go there and go ahead and knock it in half. And so you can see that the edge flow flowed a lot smoother. And you just gotta give it a little hand. You're like helping it out just slightly. Computer can only do so much. You just gotta don't let it boss you around. You gotta tell it where to be. So there we go. So let's make this inflate, just so we can connect it somehow. We can probably work it back and forth, and we'll make this the centerpiece, and we'll rotate this up, just so that we got kind of an idea of how big or how small that needs to be, because this is going to be curled up. I'm going to push this in. There's one. You got a finger. So let's see. I don't want it to be too crazy. How's that feel? We can play around with it. Let's see from a distance. And let's duplicate this just to get an idea. Build this out, rotate it out, push it back in. I think that could work. Let's duplicate it one more time. Rotate, push it back in, rotate, push it back in, and let's see. Yeah, look at that. Alright, there you go. And there you go. Ta-da, you got fingers. Got my fingers back. The doctor says I can play the piano again. Let's just put a temporary thumb. We'll just squish it down. Put it like this. And I don't know how this is gonna go. Let's see some other references. It's like a regular thumb joint right there. Let's follow that from there. Just gonna get a little bit placements. Push it, push it. Let's see. There we go. We'll see how that works. It might not work at all. It might be too. There. Now he's got like a hand claw thing. What I might do is straighten this out, just knowing where I might go. And the thing is, we can always pose him afterwards if I don't go that route. What do you say? Let's quick save. I always save. You gotta save. I didn't save for a little bit. And you got a hand. Something's going on here. Let's give it a different color because kind of helps me keep track on the videos too when I look at them. Just kind of referencing the color of the mat cap. I'm just kind of like, oh, that was the blue day, or that was the clay mat cap. It just kind of keeps me. There we go. Let's see if this green one. Ooh, that looks badass. I like the way the stuff kind of just pops in there. That's cool. The texture is fun. I like this texture. It kind of gives it that like clay feel. You can start to see it. Okay, let me straighten out his hands. Even though these back, this doesn't really need to straighten out because if you were to connect the dots, boom, 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 doesn't really matter. This right here, I'm thinking because his spine will connect this way, and his hands will need to probably be straighter. Even though he's more of like a dog posed. Let's see. So let's do this route. Let's go to our tools. Let's get our tools out. Let's get some tools. Go to C plugin and transpose it. We saved. Let's just save again, just in case it breaks. We're gonna go to transpose and transpose T pose mesh. Okay. And so we got our symmetry turned on. We're gonna turn on perspective. I want to grab this right here, invert it, and put one of these things, the gizmo. We're gonna just fold his hands down slightly. I think it's grabbing too much of that. Let's just kind of Now let's do it again, about right there. There we go. This way we can kind of give a little bit of a... We could still have a slight bend to it, but nothing too crazy. He's still got to be able to reach. Some part of me wants to say if he wants to have his hands like this, a little more than the other way, but we could figure that out later. How does that feel? I think it'd feel better if he was grabbing onto something like over a ledge and doing this. It's like, so we're gonna go to T-pose, and then it should reapply all this back to our original mesh. You know, I'm always hesitant with this because I think a long time ago, well, I know it messed my model, and I was just like, oh, never really went back to it fully. I do it saving, you know, just trying to save my file. Now when I do this, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like a muscle right here. So we got a little bit of the fingers. Let's go ahead and detail this out so we actually have something, and let's go ahead and flesh this a little bit better, so that we actually have a knuckle, and kind of determining if we need to stretch his hand. His wrist is right there, but his thumb should be a little bit. I'll have to adjust that better. About right there, right? Oop, wrong mesh. Sorry, buddy. And then we're gonna have, I guess, where he puts his hand. He's gonna have to probably never see any of this detail down here, but that's all right. I'm just gonna kind of blend this together. Blend that. Push this down. I have to rethink the. I did that probably the other way. I did do it the other way, didn't I? Outer to in, supposed to. Must have been tired. Must have been tired. And this attaches to there. We're going to cover it up a little bit with some armor or whatever you call it. Inflate. Let's go ahead and add some subdivisions, about a couple. Let's look at this. Let's look at his fingers. We can always do this too. We're going to mask. No, wrong mask. Pin. Right here. Extract. Ooh. Yeah, we'll keep it. We don't matter. We're just going to work with it. Just going to blob it down anyway. And then get the snake hook. Wrong hook. Let's do a different color so I can see this better. No. Yes. And then, boom, fingernails. Kind of. I don't know if we're going to make them that big, though. Let's see some references. They're like claws. Oh, he's hiding his fingers there. That's a bird. I like the claw thing. He's got real big You know, I like that where they're not separate, but they're actual like part of the fingers. Let's do that. Let's borrow from that idea. This can be a little bit sharper, and then we can actually inflate around it. Go from there. Let's go ahead and start cutting some geometry. So we know that's the knuckle going in there anyway. Boom, boom, boom. And then let's go ahead and make some details. Some finger. Ooh, wrong button. Let's go transparent. I'm just trying to get something going. Connect the knuckle. There we go. And this up-res. So it puts a little cuts. These details can be refined later, but we're just kind of establishing stuff. I've been looking at well, not looking at. I've been using Zen UV unwrap inside of Blender. I had this plugin for like a little bit and starting to get a little more comfortable with it. Starting to getting adjusted. Kind of getting out of trying to rely too much on 3D Max. I like Max for certain things, but lately I feel a little more comfortable in Blender and a little quicker. It feels like sometimes too. There's some things that I do miss in there that I wish it had. That's okay though. The other parts that make up for it are what keep me there. So let's kind of carve something out so it's there. Gonna bend it. Just gonna use this one. So it's actually part of the finger. It's gonna kind of leave a little bit less headache later on trying to have multiple meshes. Still it's fingers, so let's beef it up. Finger claw. Finger claw. Not to be confused with Dr. Claw. Inspector Gadget. Yeah. They never showed his face, did they, in that cartoon? It's a mystery. But Dr. Claw was Inspector Gadget. What? It's crazy, man. We don't know. Never know. We never saw its face. Let's get this in there. I'm about to call it for the lunch sculpt. And get this in there. A little bit of detail. Just a little bit of chaos. There we go. So now when we zoom out, you can see some of that. We'll never get that close, right? But it's there. It's all in the details. Could probably remove those other fingers and go from there and then just kind of remesh it down. Let's do that. Let's delete the right ones and not the one that I need. Let's go and save. Let's be safe. And turn on polygroups so we know. Just in case. Don't need to be in permanent. Alright, let's go up. What we can do is, if we really want to, you can actually grab the mesh Oh, I can't do it. It's got subdivisions. Let's just duplicate and go from there. So I don't want to break that just yet. Not yet. Let's go here, there, everywhere. Boom. Boom. Okay, here goes one. Let's curve the finger down. Let's duplicate this one. And, oh, I didn't want that, but it's okay. It's okay. You could always readjust it. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't have to be perfect because who's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. We're just going to go with the chaos. Roll with it. And if we really want to, this is the other thing. You can squeeze it in just slightly. That middle one's just a little bit bigger. So we can do that with this one too. Just squeeze it just slightly. That way they're not all the same. And even this, if we really want to, just slightly smaller. A little smaller. Right? What do you think? Alright, let's go to the next. And this is where we do have to do this. And we will do it. Boom. And let's go ahead and remove. Mirror weld. And last one, delete lower, mirror weld. Booyah. The thumb. Do we want to replace it with the already finger? Yeah, we probably will. Let's do this. Duplicate. And let's scale it down. Ooh. And rotate. Let's try to match that right there. That's the reason. You see the other side is why I was trying to oh, wrong option. Let's hide. Let's do this. Just gonna get it in place, kind of. This way, it's already got a little bit of detail. We don't have to rework a lot of this because we already did the work. We don't want to do it twice. Who wants to do things twice? Not me. It's bad enough when something crashes, right? You're like, oh, delete. And now we got a claw. Dr. Claw. Let's see, smooth this out. We can kind of bridge this gap. Bridge that gap a little bit. We'll kind of push those features in. We can do here, do there, do everywhere. Now you got that. Maybe later add some more detail like veins and stuff like that, but not right now. We're still kind of blocking this stuff out. So this main muscle down here. So connect to down the outer. You can hear the neighbors, sheep or whatever are out there. Sound like somebody yelling, but it's an animal calling. It's nature's outside. Kind of close that in. Use the move brush when you can. And it's gonna be a little bit beefed up, right? Because he's gonna use his hands. There we go. There we go. And just connect that a little bit. There we go. A little bit. What do you think? We never turned everything on, right? See. So when we adjusted this, this was hidden. What I'm going to do is a mirror, and then mirror. Oh wait, yeah, and then mirror weld. Because it goes this way, left to right instead of right to left. Some programs, I don't know. Sometimes in Blender it's like the other way. So I gotta adjust. Always adjusting. Just know that's part of 3D. Just adjusting to each hotkey and each new thing. Just And then we'll turn this to that. A little more natural pose. A little kind of down like that. There you go, a little claw. So now he can use this to kind of like do his knuckles and kind of posture up whenever he does sit up, and then look around and be mean and stuff. So let's see what else we can do. These teeth, when I close this jaw, I'm going to need to work those teeth around this thing and then kind of embed that way, so you can just see where it's going. And then those other teeth need to close on top of this jaw. So later on down the road, what I'll do is probably add a layer. That way it closes and I can adjust it and then just drop it off whenever I need to and go from there. So that's about all for my lunch period. I'm going to push this aside. This is where we're at. Put on perspective. Let's get a good shader. Let's see what kind of shader we had. I like this one. Oh, Madcap Gray. Not too bad. This one was neat. It's dark. It's a dark color. See how it looks. There we go. A little more details. I always like looking at the reflective one, just because like it looks cool. Like anything shiny, I'm always like, shiny stuff is cool. Shows a little bit of detail. So it's back and forth. Madcap, shiny Madcap toy. There we go. He's got a little of that wet feeling. I can see it already. This is the other thing, is when you switch materials, you can start to see where you need to fix stuff. Already seeing the problems. You see this elbow right there? It's got to get fixed. It's a little too weak on that one side. So got to get the form in, get the shape. That now you can start seeing this is too weak. So it's always a work in progress. So it's fun. This is fun stuff. Fun progress. Kind of just going with it. Drop it down, smooth it out. Oh, gotta fix it. We'll remesh it and fix it and get it worked on and start putting a little bit more better structure on this. But we started working the top back down, fixed that, and moving along. So yeah, hope y'all have a good weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna jump on any 3D, given it's gonna be, hopefully the weather's nice, because the season to get the stuff in the ground, the plants, I've already kind of started the seeds, and now it's time to get them in the dirt. So hope y'all have a good one, and see you on the next video. Later.